Sunday.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Here we go. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Say hello to somebody around you. Here we go.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. In celebration of Memorial Day, we would like all those who were in service to our country in the armed services, would you please stand up? We want to honor you this morning. Thank you so much for your service. Remain standing, hold on. And now would everyone please rise? We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance and then go into America the Beautiful in honor of this beautiful Memorial Day weekend. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. And crown thy good with brotherhood, Lord, sea to shining sea.
We thank all of those who have served our country and are currently serving our country right now. People all over the world are being touched by their service. And we appreciate the fact that we can be here in this room today safely and feel secure because of the fight that they fought for us on our behalf. So we thank you so much for your service. Thank you very much. Good morning. Let's move right into the service. Take a deep breath in, close your eyes, let yourself sink into your chair right now. It's a beautiful day out. It's a beautiful weekend. Let's become open and receptive to the opportunities that now exist in this moment for us to move forward in whatever it is that we want to move forward in our lives. But in order to do that first, we need to get to that place where we're in the silence, we're in that white space of our mind, where there's nothing influencing us or anything we need to fix, anything we need to figure out. Just be fully present at this moment. Take another deep breath in, and when you're ready, let that out. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to a deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done and everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment here, to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Please join me. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to a deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. Welcome to this new day, this amazing, amazing sacred day. I invite you to continue in the same state of consciousness, knowing that God is all there is. There is one power, one presence, one magnificent energy, one divine, right, perfect spirit that rules the universe. That spirit is life. That spirit is unique. That spirit is compelling. That spirit is textured. That spirit is whole, perfect, and complete. That spirit is God. And I'm at one with that divine spirit that moves itself around and in and through me, and I am knowing. So knowing, if it's true for me, it is also true for you. I, Francine Ward, I speak my word for myself and for each and every one of us, knowing that today is the first day of the rest of our lives. That today we get to rejoice in the knowing that through the power of our thought, all things are possible. That today we get to know that there are endless possibilities that await us. On this day, I am knowing that my life is full, it's rich, it's textured, that I get to experience a full and rich and textured life. And I am knowing if that's true for me, then it absolutely must be true for you. On this day, I trust my instinct. I trust my instinct to guide me in the direction where I need to go. I trust my instinct and I listen and I take direction. I listen and I take direction. I give thanks for the willingness to take direction. I give thanks for the knowing that I have a divine, right, perfect life. I give thanks for the knowing that through the power of my thought, I have the power to create a life filled with endless possibilities. I give thanks for the opportunity to be of service this morning, and I give thanks for each and every person who's come to the table this morning to prepare this sacred space, knowing that their work is never done and oh so appreciated. I give thanks for the concierge and the ushers. I give thanks for the audiovisual, for the practitioners, for the ministers. But on this day, I give special thanks for each and every one that serves our nation in every single way possible. On the land, on the sea, in the home, at school, every person that's ever served. I give thanks for them, and I give thanks for these things and so much more. And so with love in my heart, just love in my heart and gratitude in my spirit, I release my word into the law of mind, knowing that it is done. And if there's any part of any of this that I've shared that resonates within you, I invite you to say with me, and so it is.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I awake in this holy silence. I hear all that has never been said, and right here in this holy silence I find God when I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So we awake in this holy silence. We hear all that needs to be said, and right here in this holy silence We find God when we find ourselves. And I find God when I find myself. And you find God when you find yourself. So there is so much more to us than we realize. That's the title of my talk today. You know, when Jerry Lynn was just singing that song, you know, words can't take things away from me, but they do actually. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's not even the words from other people. It's the words that I have. The dialogue in my head seems to work pretty well in diminishing what I think about myself. Anyone else can relate to that? Okay, good. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. So today's talk is there's more to us than we realize. There's more to you than what you are. There's more to you than being a husband or a wife or a spouse or a child or a partner or a friend. Or what you do for your job, your career, your work. There's so much more to you than that. And we forget that. We forget that because we get so caught up in doing the things that we do every day, we forget that there's possibilities and infinite opportunities that await us to wake up to them. The sentence that I'm working my talk off of today is this: we believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. And we understand that the life of all is God. We understand that there is our own soul, our own spirit, our own destiny. It's all God unfolding. Now, whether or not our life looks the way we want it to look in every area of our life, we're going to learn about how to change that in my talk today. But we have to realize that it's all the life of God unfolding. My life is the life of God unfolding. Say that with me, please. My life is the life of God unfolding. That's the truth. So that's quite an awesome responsibility. When you think about what an awesome responsibility that is, what an honor and a privilege to be the carrier, the action of the God of life. That's an awesome responsibility that we have. But do we take that seriously? Or do we kind of get sidetracked with life events? This is your affirmation for the morning. Please join me in saying this together. I am a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life. I am surrounded by and immersed in an infinite power which flows through me. Wow, how many times have you said that at Target? Huh? How many times have you been walking through your life going, I am a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life? Huh? How many times have you just said that to yourself? Well, just once. You just said it once, and if I make you repeat it again, we'll be up to 2. But think about the statement that's saying, I am a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life. And life is capitalized because that's the life of God. You are the life of God expressing. So you are a thinking, believe it or not, no matter what anyone else has told you, you actually can think. You are a thinking, willing, because you have the power of free will, free choice. That's the second thing that we were given. Outside of a brain to think, we were given the choice to do what we want to do. That was the second greatest power that we were given. We are a knowing, conscious center of life. Now, sometimes I would question whether or not I'm knowing. Many times I'm a forgetting center of consciousness. I forget whose I am. Does that make sense? I am surrounded by and immersed in an infinite power, an infinite intelligence and power. And through that, it flows through me. So that's your affirmation for the day. Plotinus, a great philosopher, said, there is a phase of mind which is a blind force, not knowing, only doing. It responds to us by corresponding, always active, never judging. You know, when we say this, our prayers, and we release something to the law of mind, we're releasing it to exactly what Plotinus is talking about here. We're releasing it to an energy which actually, it's a blind force. It doesn't know. And I'll draw this analogy for you because it kind of works. Remember those old Polaroid cameras? Remember those Polaroid cameras where you would take a picture and out comes the little photo, right? But this is the same thing, that the power of the mind does the same thing, the law of mind. It just knows how to produce what it is seeing from the lens, and you're the one who points the camera. It can't say, oh, no, Joe, that's going to be an ugly picture. Don't take that, right? It can't say that to me because it doesn't judge. It just knows how to do. So when you think about it, the Polaroid camera is a great example. We take the picture, we're the ones who are in charge of focusing the intention, we look through the lens, we decide what it is we're going to photograph, and from that moment on, something goes, and it spits out this white film. It's not even in form yet. And then what do you learn? Don't touch it. First things, don't touch it. Remember that? When your parent, well, that was my generation. Don't touch it. Don't put your fingers on it, you'll mess it up. But suddenly what happens in time is whatever you saw from the lens starts to appear in full color. And the longer you wait, the greater the picture becomes, the more resonant it becomes, the more vibrant it becomes. But it has to go through a logical and sequential order to get to that place. Does that make sense? So I want you to think of your life as like you are literally, the law of mind is like a Polaroid camera, and whatever you're looking through, that's going to become your manifestation in form. That's going to be the thing that you experience. And guess who points the camera and guess who actually hits the button at that given moment? You do. And the law responds by saying yes. It doesn't judge. It doesn't say, not a good idea, Joe. Better wait till Thursday. It doesn't say things like that. It only says, this is what you want. Here you go. So now that begs the question for you. What have you been looking at and when have you been hitting the button? I can tell you. Because your life is a reflection of all of that. Your life is a reflection right now of the very thing that the lens you've been looking through and the picture that you've already taken. Your whole life, your finances, your relationships, your health, all of that exists through that lens and that opportunity. Does that make sense? Good. The same law which brought poverty, sickness, and death, rightly used, will bring peace, wholeness, prosperity, and life. It's the same law. It's the same Polaroid camera. It's all about where you're focusing. It's all about what you're going to take a picture of. The same law applies to good and applies to not good. It depends on love and fear. It depends on where you're focused. Where is your focus? Is your focus on the fear of what might happen in your world, or is it focused on the love that you want to experience in the world? Whatever that is, the lens is indifferent. And the power is indifferent, and the same law, capital L, the same law, the law of God, the same law that brings about all these other things can bring about positive things in your life. It's how we use it. It's how we use it. Wait a minute, did I skip go back? One, yes, I did, I skipped. I hit double click, sorry. Coming into your truth sometimes involves a degree of pain, self-realization, a will for surrender to a power greater than you, perhaps a dying of oneself in order to become into the light. So let me unpack this for you. Coming into our truth sometimes is uncomfortable. Actually, a lot of times it is uncomfortable. Why? Because it requires us to stretch and be pulled in different directions that we've never been stretched or pulled before. It requires us to do things and jump out of our comfort zone and say, oh my gosh, if I want to change, I'm going to have to do these certain things. But I tell you what, coming into your truth sometimes involves a degree of pain, but it also will bring about a self-realization. We spend a lifetime, I don't know about you, but I know people, and myself included, spend a lifetime trying to avoid pain. Anyone? Okay, 6 of us. Okay, we'll have brunch. Okay, so we spend a lifetime avoiding pain, and yet when pain shows up, pain is an indicator of something that's going to change, that's going to bring about a self-realization and an opportunity for you to move into something greater. Instead of resisting the pain and trying to fight the pain, there's an opportunity in the pain. The pain is a wake-up call going, you're about to change. Something has to change. Anybody that's had a health condition or a financial crisis or a relationship that happens to fall apart, you know what I'm talking about. The pain brings about change, which brings about a self-realization for yourself about who you are. And you know that you're there, but you always know when you're there. Because that perhaps dying is that moment when you say this, I am so done. I am over it. Until then, though, I'm ready to suffer. Heap it on. Bring it on. Bring it on because I haven't hit the bottom yet. Bottom. I did it to myself. Sometimes within us, something has to be given up. You have to let things go. You have to let them die. And that's hard. That's hard because that requires you to, in our teaching, actually, we don't even call it death. We call it a transition. We don't call death, we call it transition because it's just changing form from one spiritual being to another spiritual entity. And transition means change, and because not only does the person transition into their next experience, the people here have to transition and change because their person that was here is no longer here, which then changes their life. Perhaps some things in your life need to make a transition. Maybe it's time to transition these things off and let them die so that something new can come forward. But coming into your truth sometimes is going to involve that pain. A little discomfort, sometimes a lot. Say that with me, please. I am a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life. I am surrounded by and immersed in an infinite power which flows through me. Now I want to move into I want to shift into a part about how do we make decisions then. If we're shifting out of this transition mode, how do I make these transitions from problem solving to decision making? Because I seem to always try to fix the problem, and fixing the problem isn't the answer. That just fixes the Polaroid that I took already. Does that make sense? I'm just photoshopping that which has already been done. Good example? We spend a lot of time photoshopping the past. Ooh. Trying to correct it. A lot of time photoshopping. So let's talk about this. Don't take problem solving into decision making. Decide what's the highest and best first. Many of us spend a lot of time looking at the problems versus saying, what is the highest and best thing that could happen in an aggregate way, in the big picture? It separates me from the minutia of the problem and sets me onto the intention of a decision-making process, which is going to bring something greater into a bigger picture in my life, a greater, more expressive picture. If not, I'm just sitting around trying to Photoshop the problem out. That doesn't fix the next thing. That doesn't fix the next shot. Does that make sense? Decide based on what's the highest and best, not what's expedient, most popular, or easy. Sometimes the knee-jerk reaction to do something isn't necessarily the answer. That's photoshopping, not decision-making. Decision-making is an intention about what's going to happen next. Are you following? From a place of highest and best, then get to work on solving problems. Once I know the highest and best good, the problems are going to solve themselves. Or I'm going to be part of the solve. I'm not going to sit there and, once I know what the intention is, and I have a higher ground, a higher direction to follow, once I have that higher expression that I know I'm following, the problems become much more manageable and easy because I'm not bogged down in the minutia of them. I'm not bogged down in the energy. My focus isn't just taking the picture here, it's the picture out there. And the law is going to focus on whatever I'm focused on. You want to focus on the problems? Get ready for more pictures of your problems. Yeah? Oh, wait, back up. I'm a little trigger happy today. When you're no longer wasting energy vacillating with the decision, you can turn that energy towards solving the problem. Once you've made the decision, once you've vacillated on that and set the intention for the highest and best good, once I decide that, once I'm off that shifting, then I can focus on the problems. Because then I have a real direction to go in. I know I'm not just going to fix them for fix them's sake, I'm going to fix them for future sake. There we go. Good. You're good. You picked it up. Okay, good. I was bored with that one. Okay. The law of averages. So, the law of averages. This election cycle is driving me crazy. Anyone else? It's kind of driving me nuts. And I think it's driving me nuts because I'm listening. I'm just listening. And when I listen, I become part of what I call that group thoughtmosphere. Remember last week or a couple weeks ago I talked about the group thoughtmosphere where it's just a massive consciousness of people that comes together? So the law of averages actually says this: groups follow those thoughtmospheres, and we reflect on them. Societies and people reflect on that consciousness of the mass that's coming together. And I think about how could I change that? How could I change this thoughtmosphere? Because I can't change what's going on. And as sick as it sounds, I do turn on my TV, and you can't miss it. Or if I turn on my computer or go on Facebook, am I supposed to become a social recluse and not hear anything? So in my mind, I'm like, I just can't avoid it. So now, how can I change that? How can I change my place in the thoughtmosphere of the movement around me? You with me? To assert our individuality is to rise into that more highly specialized use of the law which brings freedom instead of bondage. Now, here we go. This is my answer. How do I do that? I have to use, get this, a highly specialized use of the law and understand that I can either move into the fear or I can move away into freedom. My freedom will be contingent upon my highly specialized use of this thing up here. Are you doubting me on that? I heard ooh. I heard ooh. All right, just make sure that that's not where this is going. All right. Assert our individuality means consciously doing something instead of stressing out. As soon as I start hearing things, I bristle. And as soon as I start to bristle, I know that I'm in the thoughtmosphere. Say hello to whoever it is. Welcome them to the service. If it's your sister in Denver, I want to talk to her. Tell her, yeah, later. Okay. Starting point is what I call that highly specialized use. And this is what it is. Become an anti-average thoughtmosphere specialist. I'm going an anti-average. I'm not going to buy into the average consciousness of that which is swirling around me. I'm going to become an individual specialist and use that to not buy into the fear of something. Does that make sense? Say that with me, please. I am a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life. I am surrounded by and immersed in an infinite power which flows through me. The average person who has no knowledge of this law uses it unconsciously, and therefore his only use of it will be a reflection of the consensus of human opinion. If you don't use this, you will become part of the human opinion, which moves in mass. And my idea is that we were brought into this world to be an individualized expression of, not part of that, but an individualized expression of with the responsibilities to use your brain. To use, and not just that one situation, but in your relationships, in your health, in your finances. You can read that into everything. The average person's going to fall into consensus and human opinion versus standing out on their own individuality and ability and opportunities that Francine said so beautifully in her prayer, those opportunities that present themselves every day. If you actually just want to blend in, then that's what you will have, a blended in life. But if you want to have a stand apart, stand out life, you're going to have to stand up for that. Because if not, you will literally be caught up in the spin of consensus in human opinion. Now, whether it could be about how you deal with your relationships or how you deal with your health or how you deal with your finances. It could be any one of those things. But I think we're being called, every one of us, because we are a higher expression, we are being called into that responsibility, into that authority that you have. Step into your spiritual authority and claim your good. The universe is ready to give it. You get to decide what that looks like. It doesn't have to be by default. Imagine if you had a Polaroid camera and you were taking pictures by default. What kind of life would you live? Nice shoes. Nice ceiling. No. By design. By design. It's the nature of the mind to always increase that which is held before it. It's the nature of the law to increase what's before it. So if your gratitude is what you have before it, you will have more reasons to be grateful. If love is before it, you will have more opportunity to love. If fear is before it, you will have more opportunities to fear. If distrust or stress is in front of it, you will have more opportunities to experience trust and stress. Are you following it? This is a spiritual law. You've been using it your whole life. Your life is a reflection of it right now. You've been using it because you can't not use it. It's just there. Sometimes it feels like this, doesn't it? Which way do I go? Which way? You know, it's funny. I told the first service this. So last night we were at a show, and it kind of goes along with this, and about decision making and yielding things. And this whole bathroom thing, this whole nationwide bathroom thing, what the hell is that? We got problems, people, and the bathroom isn't where they start. We got a spiritual void going on. We need to fill it with something right. So last night we were at a show, and I had to go to the restroom after the show, and of course it wasn't not of course, but there were more men than women at this particular show. And in the men's room, the line was huge in the men's room, which never happens. Women, am I right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of waiting, and I said, you know, I can really identify with how women feel when they have to stand in line. And of course, all this bathroom thing is about identity. And this guy behind me says, well then, I said, I can identify with the women. He says, well then you get to use the ladies' room. You guys have potpourri and a chair. What is that? Why don't we have that? I was really upset about that. And there was another lady in there. I helped her with her hair and her makeup. But I mean, after that, we were okay. She was okay with me being in there. Sometimes our life feels like that. Sometimes our life feels like we are being pulled from question to question, and we're just standing in the middle. And it's requiring us to step up to something bigger. The universe is requesting for you to show up for your life. If you haven't figured that out, that's what some of the discomfort and things that are happening in your world, that's what it's calling you to do. It's actually the universe is calling, are you listening? And now it can feel like that. It can certainly feel like that. And I know exactly what that feels like. But one has to know that when you're in a place like this, one of the sentences that I use all the time, and you'll hear me say this constantly, I am being divinely guided to those who are divinely guided for my highest and best good. I'm being divinely guided to those who are divinely guided for my highest and best good. I don't have to sit there and question absolutely everything if I believe that I'm being divinely guided. Now, if I believe that I'm going to be divinely messed up by following this, I will... Make sense? But if that's the lens, if that's the lens that I'm using, and I'm the one who controls what goes into that picture, if I'm the one who gets to decide that, and the universe, by pushing that button, just says, yes, Joe, and you shall have it, and you shall have it abundantly in vibrant colors in your human experience, then I'm the one that the universe is waiting on. That Polaroid has so much film in it, just waiting for you to take the next shot. You just have to have the guts to do it. If not, you will continue to live from the same picture that you have. And maybe that's a beautiful picture. But I bet there are areas of your life where you would like to change that picture. Yeah? Say that with me, please. I am a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life. I am surrounded by and immersed in an infinite power which flows through me. I screwed that up. This is who you are. Don't forget. We forget all the time. Some of you will remember until you get to your car. Some of you it will last till brunch. some till tomorrow morning, and then we tend to forget. But you are a thinking, willing, knowing, conscious center of life. Look at your life by a Polaroid. Take the next shot. And so ends your lesson. Thank you.